Hey there guys, so last time in the anime, we saw that Setsu was summoned to another world for second. Last time, he had established peace between humans and Demon Nation. But now the sparks of war is rising again, so he sets off to the Demon Kingdom, because demon soldiers were carrying out attacks on Human Kingdom. But in Demon Kingdom, Setsu learned humans are invading them. From this it got clear someone is behind this, but right now the Demon Queen was in danger. Apparently a human merchant claimed he could solve the possibility of war between both nations, but in return he wants Demon Queen as his bride. Desistal had promised to Setsu she'll maintain the peace, so she agreed on it, so Setsu got in time and saved Desistal from Terran. And after having a touching reunion, Setsu immediately left to go to the Beastmen Nation. And now, as the story continues, first we go back to the past when Setsu was reborn in Japan. At that time, he was stuck with his neighbor, Hana. They both grew up together, so eventually Hana came to rely on Setsu. But when the time came for them to choose a high school, Hana wasn't that smart to join the same school Setsu was going. So Setsu told her to pick an easier school. That's one heck of a thing to say to a girl who had a crush on the guy. Yet Hana did her best to try and attended cram school to get good grades, aiming for the same school as Setsu. But she still wasn't good enough. That day, she got bothered by some street goons and Setsu came to her rescue. Thinking Setsu was her boyfriend, those jerks left her alone. Setsu saw Hana was trying even harder than before to get to the same school as him. That's why he decided to help her study. That is the moment which made her realize that she loved Setsu. But then they came to this world as heroes and Setsu took off on his own to stop the war from happening, which is why Hana was training hard to become powerful and join Setsu in his journey. But she wanted to speed things up and asked Elka and Glenn to train her separately after their usual training. Girl had determination, so Elka agreed to fulfill her request. Hana was doing excellent than other peers, but she still has a long way to go. First, she has to gain real-time experience, for which Elka brought her to fight some low-grade monsters. Hana easily injured it, but refused to take its life. They are at a state of war, where she has to be merciless, yet Hana was still hesitant about all this. Taking someone's life just seems impossible, and Glenn saw no oddness in her fear. That's why he told to find determination herself, if she truly wants to fight, and it seems like she did. That awakened her powers significantly, and from the next day on she tried to fight the monster again, and this time, she completed her work of killing the thing rather than just injuring it. Now, since the training was complete, the heroes were assigned to go to the war at the Demon Nation. And at the same time, Setsu and Levi were on their way to the Beastmen Nation. On their way, two demon ladies asked for a ride, and one of them turned out to be an acquaintance of Setsu. She's a crybaby, and Setsu named her that, but her real name was Alize, and Setsu and she had traveled together for a while when he was summoned here for the first time. Alize claims herself as Setsu's pupil anyway. She had the same question for Setsu. So he explained how he and Toma fought, and due to that he was reborn in another world and got summoned here again. And now Toma is sparking another war between humans and the demons. Alize wanted to join him, but her situation is tricky right now. Amel thinks it's her fault, and Alize explains that when she took a dragon-slaying job, she went to a village where she met Amel. Due to that job, she had to stay with Amel. During that time, they got attached, and Amel opened up how her brother found her and took her in, but after the dragon appeared, he vanished and never came back home. Yet she was staying strong and waited for him, so Alize decided to stay here for a while, and during that time she told Amel to treat her as a sister. Setsu rolled out the possibility that he's dead, but that's where the matter gets weird. Every time the dragon attacked the village, people just vanished. The dragon didn't do anything to the people, yet the people kept on disappearing. So Alize took a daring action to invite the dragon and kill it, and her plan succeeded. The dragon came in, and she fought it, but when it tried to run, Alize tried to chase it down and failed. And when she got back to the village, the people were gone, and only Amel remained. So that's why she decided to leave the village and find Amel's brother. Setsu was in to help them. Levi and Setsu started guessing who might be behind this mass kidnapping. Maybe zombies, or who knows, even sirens who manipulate people with their song. But Amel said that sea monsters have a unique scent which is easy to detect. Anyway, Levi guessed that the dragon might have been attracted to the magic. Sometimes monsters get attracted by powerful magic, but that still doesn't explain the disappearance. Maybe people vanished first when some sort of powerful magic took place which attracted the dragon, so chances are that a powerful transfer magic must have been used. And Setsu knew Amel got something to do with this, because transfer magic takes 2 or 3 years to complete, and that's the same time when Amel had entered the village to live. So Amel dropped her act now. She was the dragon behind all this. Alize couldn't believe, or rather, she didn't want to believe the person she thought of as her sister would be behind all this. And on top of that, she considers herself as Setsu's pupil, and yet she failed to see this, but she came out of that depression and stabbed Amel on the head to kill her. It was painful but necessary, and after that Setsu and Levi parted their ways and Alize came to the village again, but surprisingly Amel didn't die back there, and for the missing villagers. She was turning them into puppets, and now she wants to do the same to Alize. Unaware of that, Setsu came to the Beast Men Kingdom. There was a girl named Shiraniko here who is dear to the people of the town because she kills the monsters and protects the town. So they showered her with food and gifts, but she has a little sister back at home who's sick. She protects the town while taking care of her. And that's where Setsu landed in a rusty conversation with a merchant because he wanted a boat from him. And away from there, Shiraniko was doing her best to buy medicines from an owner who helps her out. Kuroinu helps her find odd jobs so she could earn and take care of her sister. And the new job she got for her is to kill Setsu. That's when Setsu and Levi themselves came in here to book a room for the night, and Shiraniko got her job easy, so that night she made up her mind to complete her job to earn more money for her sister's medicine. Then, as everything got silent, Kuroinu let Shiraniko in to do her job. But before that, she wanted to call Kuroinu Big Sis, because even though she's an orphan, Kuroinu accepted her and helped out so much that makes her feel like she got a big sis. Kuroinu saw no problem in it and lets her in, but Shiraniko didn't know whom she's up against is an overpowered hero. So when her assassination attempt failed, Shiraniko tried to take Setsu head-on. That's why Setsu just gives her a wake-up slap, and she was done for. But he and Levi both sense the traces of a curse on her, and their initial doubt goes to that an owner. But first they brought Shiraniko to her home following the traces of curse, and Miniko stopped her sister from attacking. He saw the traces of the curse were bound to the necklace Miniko was wearing, which means she wasn't sick at all. Shiraniko begged Setsu to save her, and he was going to do so even if she hadn't asked. But to cut out this curse, Setsu had to use his trump card, the Sword of Gluttony. But before he could complete, Kuroinu showed up. Setsu can't back out midway, so Levi takes over for now. Kuroinu was a ninja type, but those petty little tricks doesn't work in front of a sea god. It was clear she's with Toma, but seeing her Shiraniko was broken, she thought of her as family, but Kuroinu didn't. She escaped for now, and Setsu did his job successfully with it. The new day comes with joy for the two sisters and more work for Setsu and Levi. And with it they head towards the capital to meet the king. But where did it all begin? It was 10 years ago when Setsu was summoned here for the first time. At that time, Toma was summoned alongside him as a hero. Unlike Setsu, he was a scaredy cat. And Setsu was able to adapt to the change unlike Toma. All this idea of going to war was eating him up because they have to risk their lives for a bunch of unknown people now. But Setsu gave him courage. He gave the idea to stop the war instead of fighting in it, and Toma loved the idea, but he wasn't strong like him. So Setsu made up his mind to protect him like a big brother. And soon he decided to leave on his own to find a way to put an end to this war. Toma was still scared, plus he was weak. So he decided to first get stronger to stay beside Setsu one day. That's how they parted ways. Then time flew by and Toma became a full-fledged hero. Got crowned with the title and even got a battalion of his own. It felt like he's closer to Setsu now, and he asked his battalion to lay down their lives for him. They were always ready for it and followed Toma to fight in the war. They raided one of the enemy strongholds as Toma took the lead. Toma cut down every demon mercilessly, and when he got to the core of this place, he found 2 priests, but he cut them down too. With it, the job here was done, but the necklace kept bugging him. It started to manipulate Toma with his deepest and darkest fears and wishes. Then, Toma lost his whole battalion in another raid. They were ready to die for him, and Toma took it as a given. But suddenly the news of peace came out, and he saw Setsu with some other people in the carriage heading toward the capital. All the leaders of their nations signed the Treaty of Peace to end the bloody era of war, all thanks to Setsu. So when Toma got the chance, he went over to talk with Setsu. He wanted to show Setsu he too had become powerful, and tried to convince him to return back to their own world. But Setsu didn't want to. He had a whole new world right in front of him that he wanted to explore, which broke Toma apart, and that necklace fueled his anger, and made him take the wrong path. So, in short, Toma is just a stupid attention-seeking hoe, nothing more. That's how they both clashed, and the impact made Setsu reincarnate in another world. But Toma survived the blast, and he found a lab where many demons, humans, and beast men were used in experiments. That fate was worse than death they had to endure. But Toma found them and gave them freedom. That freedom meant everything for them, which made them all his loyal pawns. Now Toma had this goal to destroy this world that took Setsu away from him. That's why he was starting this three-way war. But right there, our video ends here. So stay tuned to watch the last part, and for that subscribe the channel. And don't forget hit the bell icon to get the latest update. Till then, take care.